Hi, Peter Clayton. He's there behind the camera as usual. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Welcome to the garage and the court of public opinion. It's been a chilly week and a wet week, but spring is around the corner. And I'm sure, well, looking at the trees and the vines and things up my neck of the woods, I can see spring is there. Spring is about to spring. It's lovely, all the green leaves, all new and beautiful. It's a lovely time of the year, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you find it so. It's a funny thing, without getting too nostalgic, it's a funny thing how some things change and other things don't, of course. What made me say that? I was thinking of the magazine industry, but you could think of a lot of different industries, couldn't you? But you know, there was a magazine for everything, and everyone, of every age, every interest. There was one that my brother used to get called Radio and Hobbies. Radio and Hobbies. There was a magazine on money, fashion, aviation, health. There was Mad Magazine. I remember Mad Magazine. Alfred E. Newman on the cover. God, Alfred E. Newman looks like Albo, doesn't he, Pete? Spitting image. No offence, Prime Minister. Time Magazine, of course. Newsweek. Women's Weekly. People lived their lives around. I think it was a Friday when the Women's Weekly came out. Then there was Women's Day, the Fairfax Publishing Empire's answer to Women's Weekly. Magazines on travel, cooking, photography. Then almost overnight, news agencies started to disappear. And title after title after title, the same thing happened to the magazines. The magazine industry must have been worth billions of dollars, employed thousands. I don't understand how something that was so much a part of our lives, so popular, could just simply disappear so quickly. I don't know. The latest, Pete, you mightn't have heard this, the latest woke flash from Canberra.
This will be interesting.
Woke news. We don't have an ombudsman anymore. He or she is now called an ombud. What do you think?
Oh, insane.
Wouldn't you think they'd have something better to do? Goodness me. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Melbourne is going for the gay Olympics, the gay games. You heard that?
No, I hadn't heard that. I thought it would have gone to Sydney.
Well, they were going for the Commonwealth Games, and then they realised that they thought it was going to cost them $2 billion. They haven't got a cent to rub together in Victoria, of course, because of Chairman Dan. But they decided that they had to ditch the Commonwealth Games because they couldn't afford it. Now they're going to go for the gay games. What would you have in the gay games, I wonder? And if you Google it, by the way, apparently you don't have to be homosexual. You can be straight and still go into the gay games. So what's the point of calling it the gay games? The world is a strange place at the moment, mate. I won't go on. On the weekend, the media was reporting, not questioning, mind you, just reporting, which to me is like, here's the media release. All you do is to just read the media release, not question it. No, just read it, the press release. $300 million for the Great Barrier Reef. Well, that sounds good. There was $200 million to clean up the water around the reef. God knows how you do that. It is true that the runoff from the mainland inevitably contains impurities, nitrogen, fertilizer. God knows what it contains, I'd hate to think. But what caught my eye was this. $100 million for the rehabilitation of the coastal wetlands. All of this is about climate change, of course, the environment. We're not talking the talk. We are spending the money on saving the planet. That was the thrust of it. But wait, hang on. Saving the planet. How could the Minister for Climate Change, what the hell would the Minister for Climate Change do? Anyway, and there's an Assistant Minister for Climate Change as well. Anyway, how could the Minister for Climate Change not know that wetlands are the biggest producers of methane, the worst greenhouse gas on the planet? And the government proudly announces that it will spend $100 million of taxpayers' money to improve the wetlands' ability to produce methane. Totally daft. And you know, not one question from the media. Wetlands, marshlands and deltas, along with termites and volcanoes. Oh, Mount Etna's gone off again, you know. I don't know if you saw that. Mount Etna's gone off. Sort of last days of Pompeii stuff. These are the threats to the planet. You don't put public money into maintaining and enhancing your threats, do you? These people are truly dangerous and obviously stupid. But if I'm wrong and you want to take me on over that, Friday, round the dining room table, 0491 65 68 60. Call me anytime. On related matters, Alinta, big power company here in Adelaide, I'm assuming around Australia too, they're a national company, the power company, Alinta, is running an ad campaign. We are moving to renewables. Coal and gas are finished. Okay. Alinta is a Chinese company where there are 3,092 coal-fired power stations. They are responsible for 95% of new coal-fired power station corruption in just this last year, 2023. They are constructing 2 new coal-fired power stations a week. And the Chinese-owned Alinta Power Company says coal is finished. They are being conned, or we are being conned. Don't take my word for it. You can Google it. You can check out these things that I'm saying for yourself. From this Monday, just Monday gone this week, your boss or your department head can't make contact with you outside working hours. This is the right to disconnect. What absolute rubbish. Rubbish. Labor and the Greens rushed this through. I don't remember any debate, certainly no significant public debate. When these lefties get in, they have all these ideas, and they never understand. As I often say to you, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You see, they mean well. I know, it's all about, what do they call it? Work-life balance. Work-life balance, yes. I can't imagine how any of this is going to work. Now, when I worked for a company, a boss, a business, I am there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that, I think, is the right attitude. It's the attitude I've tried to give to my children. And as I've grown up, people have given me the benefit of their advice, and one of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given was simply, make yourself the most valuable person on the staff. I always believed that. I took that advice, and in my life, it has certainly paid off. But of course, it is not the Labor or the union way, and you've got to remember that the unions own the Labor Party. The union philosophy is the least amount of work for the most amount of money over the shortest number of hours. And that is no way to build a company or a country. It's that simple. By the way, small business, I think that's, well, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 15 employees or less. You will have another year to adjust. But if the government changes in the meantime, that law will be scrapped, repealed. I hope so. I saw a story on 9 News last week. Second-hand electric vehicles are in high demand. Second-hand vehicles in high demand. Rubbish. If so, at what price? I mean, everything is in demand at a certain price. I think I know something about cars, as I broadcast to you on Facebook and podcast here from the garage. And as we fly in on each posting, you sort of see some of the cars that I've collected over the last 40, 50 years. I think I know something about cars. While there are some good points about electric cars, by and large, they are not a good choice. I don't believe they're a good choice, let alone a good investment. I've gone over this many times, but you have to do your sums if you want to buy one. There's the initial cost, there's the maintenance, there's insurance, repairs, resale value, and of course the cost of replacing the battery. Buy an electric car by all means, but do your homework and understand what you're getting into.
You might not be able to park it in a car park.
Well, you might not be able to, that's another point, isn't it? You might not be able to park it in the shopping centre or the car park, or if you have an undercroft car park, obviously that's going to affect your household insurance. Brain injury associated with the military. I was going to say Parliament House, but I'm not. That's not the story. But I tell you what, there's something seriously wrong with them. Brain injury associated with the military, it's apparently something to do with shock waves that occur from the firing of weapons, the firing of a weapon. It could be, it could be anything. Look, I have no doubt that nearby explosions could be a problem. Rifles, pistols, grenade launchers, let alone artillery. Noisy. But for God's sake, part of the job. It's that simple. Don't join the army. You don't train or go into battle with feather dusters. This is crazy stuff. What do you want soldiers to do? A soldier, you sign up for danger, discipline, possible injury, or death. That's it. And Pete might disagree with this, but like sport, you take responsibility. Unless, of course, you're conscripted and you're forced to do it, that's different. The NAB has done some interesting work here. The NAB has surveyed businesses across the nation, and they say generally Australia has far too much red tape. And the state which takes the crown for being the worst, no, Pete, it's not Adelaide. No, it's Victoria.
Is it?
Yeah, Victoria. But the whole country generally has a problem. We have to look at red tape, rules and regulations. It's far too easy these days for people to just move to another state, but also, in all honesty, another country. Capital is mobile. And that is what is happening. This is what is happening in California, thanks to their left-wing regime being in power for the last 20 years. High taxes, red tape, bureaucracy, stupid laws, crime. People just go. And they are leaving. Texas is popular. Where would you say in America, Pete? Idaho.
I like the Midwest, yes.
Midwest,
Wyoming,
yeah.
Montana.
North Carolina is pulling a lot of people. But as perhaps a presidential pointer, people are choosing the red states. The red states are the Republican states. Here at home, the food industry is also fed up with red tape. And let's face it, a lot depends on this country being able to feed itself. Rules and regulations and the unions are making us uncompetitive. I know that SPC and Cadbury are tossing up whether to stay in Australia or leave because they have alternatives. Brazil, South America, South Africa, they've got factories and interests in all of these other places. And they'll go where they can be most profitable. Then we become reliant upon a supply chain to feed ourselves. And we know you don't have to have too much go wrong with that supply chain to find yourself with a shortage. And here we are in a country that just a few years ago could feed not just our 27 million, but possibly 100 million people. Something worth preserving, ladies and gentlemen. How much time have I got, Pete?
A little bit.
A little bit? I wanted to talk to you about vitamins and minerals, supplements. You're either a believer or you're not. There must be an awful lot of believers. It's a multi-billion-dollar business, a very big multi-billion-dollar business. I don't know if you can call this the definitive vitamin study, but it's comprehensive. And most interesting, 4,000 people who took vitamins were followed for 20 years, looking particularly at longevity. They discovered that those who took vitamins didn't live any longer than the group who didn't. In fact, those who took vitamins had shorter lives. Okay. Now, discounting the placebo effect and all of that sort of stuff, it certainly warrants a closer look. Because, you're talking a lot of money. You're either wasting it or you're sensibly using it. I know that when I take a vitamin supplement, and I do, I feel that it's helping. And if one feels that it's helping, it is. And if one pill or tablet or gummy is good too, must be better. But does it justify the expense? I looked at the vitamin shelves at my local chemist, so many different brands, hundreds of them, and a product for everything and every one. Sleep, colds, the flu, age, sex, you name it. Very confusing, very confusing. A supplement for your skin, for your eyes, for your brain, for your hearing, for blood, for sex drive, your libido, hair, nails, stamina, stress, strength, energy, vitamins A to Z. There's iron and calcium, magnesium. But the one that caught my eye, which I thought was rather clever, was one that I didn't buy it. Not that I think I don't need it, but I didn't buy it. And it was just for beauty. The theory was that you buy this and take one of these a day and you'll be beautiful. I thought that took the cake. Wonderful. Ah, lordy, lordy, lordy. Who said there was one born every minute? No, I think it's considerably more than one. Now, let me give you some birthdays and I'll say goodbye and invite you to join us on Friday, August 28. Nearly spring, folks. 1830, a horse race. With a difference. A horse races against a train. Against the first American-built locomotive. It was called Tom Thumb. Anyway, it's a bit complicated, the story, but just let me say for the record that due to a mechanical problem, the horse won. I love it, I love it, I love it. Shania Twain. Where's Shania? Oh, I don't have her here. Oh, yes, I do, over there. And she sent that to me with her signature on it. We can get a shot of that, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. Shania Twain, Canadian Grammy award-winning country and beautiful lady. You're Still the One. Actually, I play Still the One when many times around the dining room table. Still the One. It's a good song. That Don't Impress Me Much is another one. Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Anyway, 1965 she was born. She's just beautiful. Oh, she's lovely. Toyota Motors becomes an independent company on this day in 1937. 2020, Japanese tech company SkyDrive says it has completed the first manned test flight of a flying car. The Jetsons live again. 2018, Aretha Franklin lies in state at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History in Detroit in a 24-carat gold coffin. Is that what you call bling?
I would think so.
I hope they didn't put it in the ground. That's...
What a waste.
Well, who was it who said that? If I can't take it with me, I'm not going.
Well, I think you might have thought that.
No, I'm going into the garden. 1939, General Bernard Montgomery, otherwise known as Monty, becomes the commander of the 3rd Iron Infantry Division. 1939, journalist Kerr Hollingsworth observes the large number of troops, literally hundreds of tanks, armoured cars and field guns, Germany had aligned along the Polish border. 3 days later, Hitler invades Poland and World War II begins. This day in 1939. Caleb Bradham renames his carbonated soft drink Pepsi Cola. Good move, Caleb. 1989, Bernard Silver, American co-inventor of barcodes, dies of leukemia at the age of 38 in 1963. Bob Dylan booed for playing electric guitar. That's a bit much, isn't it? Playing electric guitar in concert at Forest Hills Tennis Stadium in Queens, New York, 1965 on this day. Donald O'Connor, American dancer and singer, singing in the rain, born Chicago, Illinois, died 2003, born this day in 1925. Britain's Slavery Abolition Act gains royal assent, 1833. Leanne Rimes, American country singer, Blue, born Jackson, Mississippi, 1982. Oh, Leanne, you're lovely, but I have ties older than you. Barbie becomes Warner Brothers' highest-grossing global release, overtaking Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, taking $1.34 billion. 1923. Did you see Barb or Barbie? No, I have no desire to see Barbie.
1923 or 20?
No, it was 2023. 2023.
I didn't see it, no.
David Soul, American-British singer, and also Starsky and Hutch. Here Come the Brides, Don't Give Up on Us, born Chicago, dies in 2024, born this day in 1943, and I think we might leave it there. Oh, pharmacists John Lee and William Perrins produce Worcestershire sauce.
Good.
1837. It's been around a while, hasn't it? Yeah. Oh, one more. Climate change activist Greta Thunberg. Ah, sweet little Greta. Greta Thunberg arrives in New York after sailing across the Atlantic 2019. It was supposed to be an emission-free voyage. Oh, God. Dear, oh dear. Anyway, thank you so much for being with us here in the garage. look forward to you being with us around the dining room table come Friday, 9 to 12, jeremycordeaux.com. Pete, thank you.
It's always a pleasure, Jeremy.
And we'll be back next week with another posting and some more podcasts. Believe in yourself. And thank you for viewing the Court of Public Opinion.